two historic programs, the top level of competition, filled trophy cases, rabid fan bases decked out in blue, the highest expectations for successful results, and two new championship coaches arrive on the scene. Wait, what? It's in football, not basketball? Welcome to College Football Media. Consider subscribing for more college football content. We analyze teams, trends, and traditions to logos, history, and predictions. Now let's get into it. Basketball schools with championship coaches. Will it work? Historically, both Kansas and North Carolina are very much basketball schools, and that won't change anytime soon. The attention and demand for basketball is greater and stronger than football for these programs. But that doesn't mean they can't be successful. Just look at what Mark Stoops has done for Kentucky. But it doesn't happen overnight. Mark Stoops has been building Kentucky for 6 years. North Carolina's own rival Duke has had their head coach David Cutcliffe for 11 years. So given time, it can work. Let's start the discussion with Kansas. Kansas football has been bleak for about, well, forever. For the last 10 seasons, their records have been, beginning in 2009, 5-7, 3-9, 2-10, 1-11, 3-9, 3-9, 0-12, 2-10, 1-11, and 3-9. Their all-time record is 585 wins, 640 losses, and 58 ties, with only 12 bowl game appearances ever. But the last successful stretch for Kansas might be more recent than you might think. Remember that 2009 season that I just mentioned? When they went 5-7. That was the last season that Mark Mangino was the head coach at Kansas. While the end of Mangino's tenure was anything but graceful, he won 50 games in 8 years, including a 3-1 bowl record. The height of his career came with a 12-1 record, division title, and Orange Bowl win at Kansas in 2007. Which just so happens to be the same season that LSU won the national championship, coached by some guy named Les Miles. Les Miles played at Michigan and got his first head coaching job in the Big 12 at Oklahoma State. Then was the head coach at LSU from 2005 to 2016. He took a few years off from coaching, but returns to the Big 12 this season as the head coach of the Jayhawks. Miles always had stellar defenses at LSU, but got fired because he could never get a quarterback and could never beat Alabama. In order to be successful at Kansas, he needs to reinvent his offensive philosophy. A strong defense can help set him apart in this high-scoring league, but it'll take a talented quarterback to push him over the edge. On the other side, Kansas needs to be patient. Be similar to Kentucky and Duke in giving their coach time. Clemson was patient with Dabo Swinney, and look how that turned out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing Kansas to Clemson, but you could look within their own state at rival Kansas State. If Les Miles is given the time that Bill Snyder had, then there's no telling how far they could get. Bill Snyder got close within that state, and Mark Mangino got close in 2007. I don't expect them to reach that kind of ceiling, but hey, college football is just crazy these days. Now let's shift our attention over to North Carolina. The Tar Heels have had a lot more consistent success than Kansas. Their records for the past 10 years have been, again beginning in 2009, 8-5, 8-5, 7-6, 8-4, 7-6, 6-7, 11-3, 8-5, and 3-9, and 2-9. They have finished last in the Coastal Division each of the past 2 seasons, and their all-time record is 707 wins, 542 losses, and 54 ties, and a bowl record of 14-19. Larry Fedora took them to a conference championship game in 2015, but it seems that they've just fallen off the map these past 2 years, since their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, was the 2nd overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. The Tar Heels' new head coach really isn't new at all. Mack Brown was the head coach at North Carolina from 1988 to 1997. During his first stint at Chapel Hill, Brown recorded 8 6-win seasons. He then went on to have a lot of success at Texas, including 2 national championship game appearances, and probably most remembered for the upset win over USC in the Rose Bowl with quarterback Vince Young in 2005. Interestingly, Mack Brown is already in the College Football Hall of Fame, inducted in 2018. And once again, he's at the helm in North Carolina. In order to find success again, Brown needs to find his place in recruiting. If he can live up to the standards of his reputation, he should do good. But he's in a difficult place to recruit, surrounded by many high-profile programs. Just like Kansas, North Carolina should be patient. I don't think the ceiling is as high as Les Miles at Kansas, but Carolina hasn't been as low either. Honestly, this seemed like a nostalgic hire. One to let Mack Brown come back, coach out as long as he wants, and retire as a Tar Heel. For both programs, as I mentioned before, patience is key in their situations. You have championship coaches at non-football schools. Give them time. But the one caveat to all of this is expectations. Don't expect to compete for championships year in and year out. Not right now. Just expect consistent 6-win seasons. And if that comes in time, then higher peaks will be achieved. Be patient and set expectations in relation to the past of the program. And go from there. Because you have 2 very successful head football coaches. And who knows, in several years, Lincoln Riley and Tom Herman may go to the NFL. Dabo Swinney could try the NFL or go back to Alabama. And that could leave both Kansas and North Carolina in positions to take control of those vacancies in their conferences. Hey, you never know. Keep dreaming, right? Question of the day. Will these coaches make it work? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching College Football Media. Be goody now.